Here's how you can control your parametric BIM script using Claude AI. And interactively visualize all your model data so you can make better choices. Imagine chatting with your agent, describing your envelope and desired program, and get immediate feedback on all the model data with spot-on visuals and dashboards so you can directly iterate and improve by simply prompting. And when you're happy, you just ask it to send the results to tools like Speckle or just bake it into your Rhino model so you can continue fine-tuning your design there. And that is the promise of AI integrated with parametric design. And today I will show you one way on how to leverage this in your script. But before we dive in, my name is Marijn, and on this channel I share strategies and insights that help to scale your Grasshopper workflows. So make sure to subscribe to improve your parametric modeling skills. Now let's get started. Make the high-rise higher by adding 5 more stories. Also, reduce the radius of the corners to just 1.5 meters. And add a diagonal setback in the top 2 stories. And then for the Ochre Courtyard building, I want the midsection that's now 32 meters. I want that to be 40 meters, so the building becomes more long. Also add 1 more story on top with the setback facade. Can you then make a dashboard of the 3 buildings that we have? Cool. Let's check out what you made. Okay, so we have the red L-shaped building, which is this one, right? And then we have the black tower, and then we have the Ochre Courtyard, and they all have their own statistics. So our AI agent is able to read a bunch of data, and it's able to do all sorts of analysis. So of course we can ask it what's really interesting, but I gotta say, this already looks quite good. Volume distribution, that seems about right. So I can actually choose here the total GFA, total volume, total windows. So our agent is able to derive all these parameters from our model and can create dashboards on top of it while I'm just sipping my coffee. Right, so now you're probably wondering how all this works. The most important thing you have to understand is that we are controlling only the input and the output with Claude. Imagine all the input parameters, which can be various depending on whatever script you're trying to make, all tied together in a JSON schema. What is a JSON schema? JSON is essentially a way to structure data. So in this case, we have an array, and this array now contains 2 objects, right? So the curly bracket means it's an object, and the square bracket means it's an array. And an array is just a fancy programming way to say list. So here we have a list with 2 buildings, and they're actually descriptions of buildings that I am telling the AI to control for me, right? And by the way, it's important to note is that I am telling Claude how the structure should be, right? Because this structure is ultimately determining how I build my scripts around it. In this case, I included a typical story height, right, of 3.2 meters, a plinth height, a base color, a base position, and then a few other parameters. Now, this is a simple example, and I could make this hierarchy way more detailed, but for the sake of just connecting to the scripts that we already had in the previous videos, I chose to simply describe each floor with a floor number, an elevation, a floor height, and a boundary. So in our script, we're taking apart this JSON structure and we're exploding this JSON, right? I use Pancake for this. It's very useful. But as you can see here, we have these coordinates. So we're expanding this, exploding this array into the single coordinates, which are simply X, Y, Z values, right? So, and I'm free to then create points out of them. So essentially, these arrays, you can recognize them here like 0, 0, 0, 28, 0, 0, 28, 22, 0, etc. So these are all the point coordinates of the polyline boundaries of each building. And then we're assembling them here. And as you can see, they're now overlapping each other. And then you're wondering, why is that? Well, it's because it's easier for AI to just describe those coordinates relative to the building base point, right? And we also have the building base point, which we can see here. So that's also included in our JSON base position, right? So this is the base position, and this is how Claude knows how to position our building. So basically, we're building all these boundaries here, and then we're just positioning it in the right place. It's basically like a wireframe that carries our parametric logic, right? So of course, we can already measure some area here. This is also a good place to already start adding some dimensions. So let's just back up a little bit because I think I jumped forward a little bit too much. So then how do we actually connect with Claude, right? So essentially we can use the Swiftlet components, and the Swiftlet components are basically the MCP server. So you'll need MCP server and you'll need to give it a port, and it's essentially running on localhost. We will just need to make sure that we make this available to Claude so that whenever our Claude desktop app is running, it actually recognizes our tool and is then able to communicate with it. So then we need to have a tool parameter. By the way, you can also have 10 tool parameters. I was just lazy. I just created one JSON input that already contains all my parameters and then picking it apart. For a better experience or a better, more granular control, it might be beneficial to actually split this up, but I'll leave that to you. And we're pretending it's a string here, but it's not really a string. It's actually a JSON input. Okay. So, and then we're explaining to Claude using the define tool parameter what this input is supposed to do. I will not go through this, but basically we're asking it to respect our format, and then we're also giving it some defaults to fall back on just in case. And then whenever we are calling our tool from Claude, we can basically just start a chat with Claude and say, hey, do you know the urban block sketcher, right? Which is our tool. And that actually means it's connected. And that means that once you ask it to use this tool to create a building, then it will start to send a response into our Grasshopper script. This means that all the parameters here are arriving as a JSON object, and we're then using the JSON components from Swiftlet to actually decode it. And here we can see this payload. Now I could also continue to use the Swiftlet JSON components. I think they're great components, but I'm just really set on Pancake. And then I'm using the Pancake components to further deconstruct the lists and grab certain keys that I need to basically assemble my polylines. And then at the end of our script, we essentially are giving Claude a response. So whenever Claude is running our tool, it also needs to get information back. And in this case, that's also a JSON payload. So I'm just doing this by creating associative objects. So essentially, this is the equivalent of a JSON object, right? And then I'm wrapping it. And then I'm merging it into a plan boundary, which is actually my manually drawn polyline, because I thought it made sense to give Claude some sort of context to where we want our buildings to be deployed. So I'm basically given the coordinates of this polyline, right? And then I'm merging it with the output model. So every time that Claude runs our tool, it's getting back this entire JSON payload. It's important to understand that this entire very long list of data is the basis on which Claude is building these dashboards. Okay. To further let this sink in, we can also say a sock to data table. By the way, you can check out my video on how to interact with Excel and build spreadsheets. It's very similar, but the point I'm trying to make is if we create data grid, we can essentially view all these objects inside a table. And since these objects actually have different shapes, you will see that this table is essentially irregular, but that's okay because the AI is able to disentangle all of this information into meaningful data analysis. All right, so now you kind of understand what's under the hood. Now it's up to you, the parametric designer, to be able to take these inputs and rebuild them into a meaningful model that you can then feed into the Claude response, right? So it becomes even more important for parametric designers to understand how to move data and how to strategically decide where AI actually has a use. So I think in this movie I scratched the surface on the things that are possible with Claude. I would love to know what you think. I would love to know what you are going to build with Claude and if this is something you would actually use. All right, that's it for today. See you in the next one.